Hey everybody, Jillian here. Welcome back to my channel for a brand new process video. Today I'm going to be using some of the new releases from the Print and Pray shop. This set is from Brianna Showalter, and I will link it down in the description of the video below if you're interested in checking it out more. But basically, she created a set called Joy in the Journey, and it's a journal kit set. So I'm going to show you guys how I assemble this. It comes with sheets, the cover, you could either use this for the back or the inside. It comes with different pages that you can put in your notebook. I printed a couple of, I printed a couple of because I thought I might want some extras. And then it has some really fun illustrations that she did in her beautiful watercolor style with some beautiful scripting here of just different travel themed illustrations. So that's what I'm going to be using today. Typically when I make these on my channel here, I use one of these notebooks that I got a while back at Michael's. I think they may still be available now. I think they're bringing back some Traveler's notebooks for the summer. I'm not sure. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my own using some just copy paper and a piece of cardstock, just plain white cardstock that I would print these guys out on. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make my own notebook myself, like a little DIY tutorial for you guys. And then when I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my Traveler's notebook. This one is from Illustrated Faith at Dayspring and is the leather one that says Pray, Color, Repeat. If you don't want to make your own, if you don't have the one from Michael's, or if your Michael's doesn't have them, Dayspring sells these inserts also, and they have they come in 3 different varieties. There's one that has plain pages, another one that has lined pages, and then there's a third one that has grid pages. These do have verses along the bottom, so just keep that in mind. So I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and get started today.
So a few things I grabbed to go ahead and make the journal kit were my Tim Holtz tiny attacher, a ruler, and then this little mat that came with a sewing kit from Amy Tangerine. And I'm just measuring the Traveler's notebook here and determining how much I need to trim off of this copy paper. The first mistake I made was folding it in half. I don't recommend folding it in half. You have to make twice as many cuts if you do this. So I took about a 1/4 inch off of the width of the paper, and then I took 2.5 inches off of the, I don't know what you call that. I took another 2.5 inches off, but because it was folded in half, I had to take 1.25 inch off of either side of the fold, and so I probably could have saved that step if I had not folded it in half. If you have a regular stapler, you probably won't need to do what I'm doing here, but I only had this tiny attacher which wouldn't go into the page all of the way, so what I had to do was put the mat down to protect my surface, and then take the stapler apart, staple it down, and then fold the prongs over with my fingers, and then a pair of scissors to make sure that they were laying flat and wouldn't injure me later. So once I put the cover, Joy in the Journey, on the notebook, I was like, man, it's really white, it's really stark, I want to do something to make it pop. So I decided to try and replicate a passport booklet. So I didn't have the right blue that Brianna used for these illustrations, so I just decided to make my own. I found the 2 darkest blues that I had in my paint stash, and I'm mixing them here with a paintbrush. Forgive my paint palette, I never clean it, it's terrible. It's always got leftover paint in it. So originally I thought, okay, I'm only going to paint the edges, that's all you're going to see from underneath this printable, but then I realized you probably would see some weird shadow on the inside of it, so I just decided to go ahead and paint the entire front of the notebook. I do go back and paint the back also, but I didn't do it at this point because I didn't want to take even more time to wait for the front and the back to dry. So I'll get to that towards the end of the video. So I hit that with my heat tool. I hit it from both the front and the back because the paint had so much moisture in it, and it's not a very heavy cardstock. You can see that it warped here a little bit. It doesn't bother me. I really like the effect that it gives it. So I'm using red line tape because I ran out of the tape runner that I usually use, and I just haven't thought to get more. I will transition over to using Scotch Quick Dry adhesive, which is a liquid adhesive. And so the liquid adhesive is going to warp the copy paper pages a little bit because it's just not sturdy enough to stand up to it. So I printed off a 3x3 photo of myself here using my Canon Selfie. It's just a little at-home wireless printer. It's teeny tiny, and that's how I got like an odd-sized photo for this. I really wish I would have done a 2x2 photo similar to a passport-sized photo. And I didn't plan to use this picture. It's the only one that I had of myself on my phone, and I didn't want to take the time to go get the computer out and find a different one. So I'm using this super silly picture of myself on the inside, but I wanted to kind of have a current-ish photo of myself to kind of document this time in my life. I don't have anything specifically I'm waiting for. I mean, I ask the Lord questions all the time, so if anything, I'm waiting for answers, I'm waiting for direction, and that was kind of where I was going when I was creating this notebook. Kind of on that journey. It's a lifelong journey, really, I guess. Kind of just on that journey wanting His guidance and direction. So I'm using the red line tape here, and then I realized this is taking forever, and I don't want to make you guys watch me peel the release paper off of every strip of tape that I use, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to the liquid adhesive soon. I'm using some black and white striped washi tape just to bulk it up a little bit more, since it seemed a little white still. But I'm just creating some foundation pages here for the journal, and then I'll go back in. I do journal a little bit in here on camera, but I will go back in and fill in a little more as I work through it. I really loved this section that said start with amen. So I'm just starting with God, you are God, and you know the way, you have the answers. I'm going to start with so be it. So I decided to use these Kelly Perky alpha stamps. They're no longer available. This font is called Shoreditch if you want to try and hunt for it. And so I just stamped out the phrase so be it, and then was left with a little bit of blank space there, so I'm going to fill that in with a postage stamp and a little strip of washi. And then I'm going to go ahead and use one of the verses that she includes in this kit. You can see at the top center of my desk there. Those are all the references that Brianna includes with the kit. So as you're working through it, you can look up those different scriptures, and kind of it gives you an idea of where to start, or what verses to look at, or what verses to journal, what verses to pray, meditate on, things like that. So this page, I realized that it was taking a lot of time for me to sit there and figure out where I wanted things to go. And personally, I feel like there's an added pressure on me when I know the camera is recording. So for a lot of this, I had things pre-planned, and then I just hit record as soon as I started adhering them down and embellishing a little more. So I hope that's okay with you. This did take me over an hour to make. I really wanted to use this luggage tag that said destination, and my destination is Jesus. So I punched a hole in it with a simple hole punch, and then I fed some twine through there to make it to have a little more texture, and to have some things hanging off of the edge of the book. So you can see I kind of got a system going here. On the left side of the page, I'm using the Traveler's Notebook full pages that she included with the kit, and then on the right side I'm including the smaller elements. So what kind of triggered that was when I used the Kelly Perky stamps. The ink bled through because it's just copy paper, and I wanted to cover that up, not with paint or anything. I didn't want to get too messy, so I just decided to use the full-size sheet that she had included. So there is a Bible verse on this card here, Hebrews 13:5, and then I'm also kind of looking at this snow globe mason jar thing that's over to the right that has Psalm 23:6 on it, and it was just so, I just in the moment journaled my response to both those verses because I just thought they were so sweet. I wrote, "Oh Lord, these words are so sweet to me, never will you leave me, never will you forsake me, your constancy is such a comfort." And the next page, I decided to kind of have some things go off of the page a little bit, like this snow globe. So you can see I trimmed it down before I adhered it because I kind of wanted it to bleed off of the edge. I think that's what it's called. Same thing with the camera. Kind of wanted to have it run into the other page but not overlap at all. This one, I saw the map. I mean, it's so beautiful. These illustrations are so beautiful. I saw the map and I immediately thought of that verse in Psalm 119:105, your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. And so I just stamped out the two large words there and kind of wrote the verse around it. That's what I thought of when I saw the map. And then the camera and the little snow globe are maybe some things you might use throughout your trip, taking pictures of your journey and collecting little souvenirs. And then the little road on the left side says the journey is as important as the destination. So I was left again with a little weird space there to the left of my stamping, and I just anchored another stamp with a little strip of washi there. On the next page, I use my absolute favorite piece from the whole set. It's this airmail envelope front. I'm so excited about using this. I used the little stamp that said June 2017, and then over on the right, I'm just layering some things up here, trying to figure out what to use. I'm so excited to come back and journal this. The little blurb on the right says, "Waiting on the Lord gives me a heightened awareness of His love, mercy, and grace." So I thought it would be so fun to treat that airmail envelope as a little spot for journaling where I could document specifically how I'm seeing His love and mercy and His grace as I'm just kind of on this journey of waiting. So the last page that I'm going to do, I thought I wanted to use those cars, but I just couldn't make them work. I don't know what it was. So I'm layering up all the stamps that I have left over in the top right corner there, creating another little road scene with this bicycle and this cute like faux washi strip of road. And then here I'm going to go ahead and paint the back of the journal. I'll tell you why I'm keeping the last 2 pages blank towards the end of the video here, but I'm just going to paint the back, dry it, and then add one more little embellishment.
Okay, so here's what my little journal looks like. I really like the blue paint on it. I just feel like it makes it look like a little passport or something, and it's really chunky, and it's really just got things coming off the edges. I'm really looking forward to continue to work through this. I think I have a good foundation here. Started with a little photo, like I said, of myself like you would see in a passport, and then just created foundation pieces using the printables and drew some lines for journaling, just so I can remember where I want to journal. And then I'm definitely going to go back through the verses that she provided with the printables, and then fill in some of the spaces journaling, that scripture here journaling what's going on in my life while I wait, while I'm on this journey. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working through this summer. Hopefully it wasn't too boring for you guys watching me glue pieces of paper to each other, but I had a lot of fun making it. I decided to keep these back 2 pages blank so that I can come back to it when I feel like I've reached my destination, or there's a break in the wait, just so I can, in the moment, decorate it and then get my journaling down in there. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will go ahead and link this journal kit from Brianna Showalter in the description below if you're interested in checking it out. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!